Hello to you beautiful people. My name is Noa Lakshmi and I'm here to elevate humanity for a better world, and thank you so much for joining me. If you are finding my videos for the first time, welcome to my channel and I'm really happy you are here. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate the support and the love and the continuous support. It means so much to me and it really helps because we are doing this together. Yes, one by one, together, creating a better world for ourselves and for future generations. And I use astrology for that purpose, not so much as a predictive tool, although it can be. It's a tool to help us navigate through the experience of life here on planet Earth as individuals and as a collective. So that's what I am about. And if you would like to learn more about myself and the work that I do in the world, which is astrology and so much more, really going deep into our individual healing and transformation, go to my website, noalakshmi.com. I would love to hear from you, and I will talk more about that at the end of the video. Alrighty, so we're gonna dive into this week's astrological forecast, cosmic weather. Today is Thursday, the 29th of June. We are just about to wrap up the month of June here. Unbelievable, really, like the half of the year is already done. And there's a lot in store, there's a lot coming our way this summer, big summer. And we are closing this week here, or going into the first week of July with a few interesting aspects. It's not like extremely crazy or overwhelming astrologically speaking, yet there's a few specific and very potent transits that are occurring that have a big impact and influence on us. So let's start with what's going on right now and then a little bit more into the next few days. So yesterday, Wednesday, the 28th, Mars and Mercury conjuncted. They met together at the sign of Cancer. Mercury is moving really fast right now. Mars is in Cancer. We are sitting in this Cancerian energy with the Sun in Cancer. So the emphasis right now is on our emotions and our feelings and our intuition, really taking care of ourselves. Mars in Cancer and with all the other Cancerian energy, it's really about slowing down a bit. It's about listening to the inner voice within. It's about listening to the inner child, really looking at your needs. It's not so much of a time to push so hard, but rather take a bit of a not the back seat. That's not the right description for the energy, but just be more attentive. That's it. Be more attentive to the inner child and to the internal needs that might be surfacing for you right now, and how to take care of yourself in the best possible way. So that's really what's been going on a lot, and that can cause a bit of tension for some people, and I'll touch on that in a moment. But yesterday we get Mars and Mercury meeting, and both Mars and Mercury are personal planets. So anytime we have personal planets involved in the astrological play, we feel it on a very personal level, okay? Mercury is our mind, it's our intellect, it's our logical mind, it's how we communicate, how we express ourselves. But more than anything else, it really is associated with our mind, with our mental energy. Mercury, absorbing information, conveying information, anything to do with exchange of information, with communication. And then Mars is our masculine energy, and it's the energy that moves us forward. It's our energy that gives us the motivation and the fire to take action. It's our impulses, it's our desires, it's our instincts, it's our animalistical nature, Mars. And being in Cancer, that's another reason why the invitation has been to, simmer down a little bit. Mars in Cancer is not so full of fire, full of pizzazz. It's going to be a whole different story when Mars moves into Leo in a few weeks. But for now, we are focusing more on our watery, emotional, nurturing, feminine energy with Mars being in Cancer. So we having our mind, Mercury meeting with Mars, with our instincts, with our will, with our desire to create, with our desires, period. And it's a very quick transit. It doesn't last more than a few days, give or take. But that was the invitation, and still lingering, feeling it today in the next few days, the invitation to bring our mind with our desires, with our will. Okay, and in the sign of Cancer, again, tying into all of that is our intuition and our needs and our basic needs and our sense of nurturing. How do you find yourself being nurtured and nourished on a mental level and also on a very basic level? How to communicate what it is that you need and what it is that you desire. With Mercury meeting Mars, it is the invitation to, okay, learn how to communicate that which you are desiring, that which you are needing. Really important meeting, of bridging our logical mind also with our instincts, and really understanding, wow, this is what I need, without any judgments, without any shoulds or shouldn't. Understanding, this is what I need and this is what I want. Now, can I communicate it in a way that the other person, the other people can understand? And instead of exploding, instead of being too impulsive with how you speak, especially if you have any suppressed needs or suppressed desires, this is a good time to not just lash out, but rather take a moment, bring your mind into it, understand this is what's happening, this is what is needed right now, if this is something that I need, or just what is needed in the moment, and then express it in the most nurturing and empathetic way. Cancer, it's really empathy. It is the sign that rules the moon. It has a lot to do with empathy, with our emotions, again, with our intuition. It's feminine. So that's my invitation to you. Just really find yourself more in that space, in the way that you move about your life right now, in the way that you communicate, in the way that you express yourself, in the way that you express your needs, approaching all of that more from a feminine approach, more from feeling rather than just being so analytical about everything. And now we're going into the oppositions, and that's a big part of what I want to talk about. Mercury is actually opposing Pluto today, and then Mars is going to move into that opposition with Pluto on Sunday, the 2nd of July. And those oppositions are really interesting. Anything that interacts with Pluto, especially in a way that is either an opposition or a square that is tension point or an inconjunct, that can be that can bring up an interesting energy. Pluto is our deep desires of the soul. Pluto represents, in an evolutionary astrology, Pluto represents the soul. And this is a very interesting moment of time with everything that we have gone through in the last few months, really. Having our logical mind in opposition to the deepest desires of the soul, and then Mars, again, our instincts and our impulses, our desires, what am I moving forward in my life, opposing the same aspect, the Pluto, our soul's desires. And the question here is to ask yourself to ask ourselves is what I'm thinking, what my logical mind is saying, how is that opposing the truth of my soul? And and in Capricorn, Pluto being in Capricorn, it's serious, it's goal-oriented, it's really moving into the future. And so the opposition is an opportunity to evaluate and look at, reflect, really reflect on the deepest desires of the soul as you are moving forward and building your future. Is that in opposition in some way to what you are thinking is the best way, what you're thinking is the way to go? Is it really in alignment with the true soul's desires of yours? And same thing when it comes to whatever you're taking action in your life right now, is it in true alignment with those deep desires of the soul? Is your wants and desires, are they influenced by something other than your soul's truth? Really important to look at that. And Pluto being in Capricorn is also the social norms versus your intuition there in Cancer versus your needs and what it really nurtures you. All those opposition to look at right now of where in my life am I influenced by social conditioning, by social structures that is actually is not in alignment with what I really want, with what I really desire, with what I really understand to be valuable and important to me, and what I really understand and know to be nurturing for me. And those are big questions that we are looking at right now with those oppositions of Pluto opposing Mercury, Pluto opposing Mars, and especially with Pluto opposing Mars, that can feel very intense, and we're starting to feel it already, and we're going to feel it right way into next week at the beginning of July, of the opposition of the deep soul's desires versus the ego desires, or what I just want, But then when we ask ourselves, well, is it really serving? Is it really serving my purpose? Is it really serving my future? Is it really rooted in my soul's truth and my soul's destiny? Or is it more based on, again, just the instinctual I want, the instant gratification that can be a Martian energy, just the instant gratification, just like, do now, think later kind of thing. And the opposition is the invitation to, again, really reflect deep inside. What do I want? What am I building for my life? What am I building for my future? Individually and then collectively, of course, because so much of what we're seeing in the world is a result of the instant gratification that people are seeking and looking for and going for, rather than, wait a second, instead of acting so quickly and irrationally and just from an emotional place, let me just be a little bit more calculated. Let me be a bit more structured in my life in a way that supports my true soul's desires and my true soul's purpose. So those are the oppositions that we're looking at. And then it's all going to be coming together with Chiron going retrograde, and that's happening on July 1st, beginning the month, just right there with Chiron going retrograde, which is not, again, no coincidences with those oppositions to Pluto. Chiron represents our deepest wound and the healing that we're going through. So with all those questions that I just mentioned and the oppositions to Pluto, with our mind, with our desires, with the way we express ourselves and our needs, Chiron going retrograde is, again, it's that introspection of our own wound. Like, where is it coming from? Why am I desiring what I'm desiring? Why am I acting the way that I'm acting? Which are the forces that are operating within me that might be not so conscious and they're still pulling on me? And Chiron going retrograde, the invitation and the opportunity to go deeper into the healing process of your own unconscious wounds, unconscious layers, the forces that operate within us without our full participation. Chiron in retrograde is a time for deeper healing, and it's, again, very internal. It's very introspective mode. There's not like the healing that is going to be out there through other people, but to have the courage to go within and to do the spiritual healing. With Chiron in Pisces, it's very much our spiritual healing, cultivating a stronger relationship with God, with the universe, whatever it is that you refer to as God, but to have that spiritual anchor for your life that can help you to understand and to heal deeper layers of your wounding and your pain that you may still carry with you without knowing what it is that you're carrying. So that's the invitation here with Chiron going retrograde right at the beginning of the month. And then we're going to have Venus going into Gemini on July 4th, Independence Day here in the United States. And that's going to bring a whole lot of a different energy after Venus being in Taurus for the last month, which has been so wonderful, sensual, very much in our bodies, very prosperous. It's just going to be a very different energy with Venus going into Gemini. Lots of socializing that is going to take place, not as grounded, a time for lots of connections and networking, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more next week as we go into the full moon as well. So that's all I have for you for this week, and as always, I'm sending you so much love and so much light. If you are interested to know more about the work that I do in the world, deep healing and transformation, alongside with astrology readings, please go to my website, noalakshmi.com. I would love to hear from you. If you are enjoying this video and other videos, please share the videos on the social media or with your friends, people that you think may benefit from this message. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. Stay awesome. Stay beautiful. Sending you lots and lots of love. Again, have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Sat Nam.